Welcome to Space Vidcast, episode 25 for September 26th, '08. That didn't work very well, did it?
'08, no.
'08, no. My name is Benjamin Higginbotham. With me is a beautiful, talented, wonderful, intelligent, and Ben Credible. It doesn't work.
No,
either.
It doesn't.
Carrie Ann Higginbotham. We are the Space Vidcasters. We have got an action-packed, epic adventure-sode. No, we've got an EPICsode.
EPICsode.
EPICsode for you tonight. We've got so many launches, I'm not sure what to do with them all. Frankly, I mean, they're just launching things into space
like
left and
Mother
right.
Hubbard.
Man, just so we got a bunch of that footage for you tonight. We've got STS-125 coming up someday in the future. We've delayed it again. And we've got events that are shaping and happening right now that are frankly changing the world of space exploration and space travel. So that's going to be cool. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But first, let's talk about one of the things we did a couple episodes ago. We talked about going to New Mexico for the Lunar Lander Challenge and shooting that and bringing it to you in live and high definition and all this other fun jazz. There's been a little bit of a snag.
Right.
We're not going to be able to do that, at least not right now, not when we originally said we were at the end of October, and that's not anything that we can control.
No.
The base, the military base that they're hosting that on, they have some other event going on, and they're not able to do the Lunar Lander Challenge
Apparently
at that
something
time.
more important than the Lunar Lander Challenge.
Probably some sort of really cool bomber or something.
Right.
Like a laser-guided thing that's just awesome. They're like, no, you can't be here at the same... Yeah,
right.
Secret
F-35 testing? Right.
Yep.
Totally not more important than the X Prize. Sorry, just not.
So they've delayed the X Prize. It's to be announced when we're actually going to see when that actually will occur.
Right.
We're still planning on covering it, but it's not going to happen at the end of October. Now, this is good news for us. Gives us a little bit more fudge room. Lets us kind of figure out how to get all of our gear together.
It's good news for you because that means there's still some extra time for you to throw us money your way.
Absolutely.
Throw us money our way. Throw you money our...
This has been an interesting night of not only talking, but technology. So this is going to be, like I said, an EPICsode. And I am, personally, extremely glad that we have so much B-roll.
Yes.
For this show.
We have lots of B-roll.
We have got lots and lots of B-roll. So let's go ahead and get started with some space news. Space news! And talk about, I think, one of the most important things that's happened in space travel in a very, very long time.
Right. Like I said, if you've been living under a rock, you may not have heard about this, but China has sent up their Shenzhou 7 with 3 taikonauts. It is their third launch, I believe, on it. I could be wrong about that. And one of the taikonauts is actually going to be doing an EVA, which is a really big deal. I think we determined earlier it wasn't until Apollo 5 or 7 or something where we didn't have an EVA. And now, granted, they have been getting a little bit of help on the side from the ESA and from Gemini 7. Thank you. Thank you, Carbon. And also some help from the Russian Space Agency to train the taikonauts and stuff like that.
But still, they're moving very rapidly at this point.
Very rapidly. They're doing a really great job. It's very exciting. And, I mean, it's exciting for them, but it's exciting for us as well.
Absolutely, because part of what this does is it sort of reignites the space race a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the first 5 minutes or so. Now, there's a full 40 minutes worth of coverage of this thing, but we're going to show you the first 5 minutes of the launch. This is about 1 minute before liftoff, so it gets a little bit boring at first, but hang with it. This thing is this is awesome. This is China's first
Well, and kind of like
EVA.
Brian was saying, they do look like Russian rockets. So, as opposed to the shuttle that we're so used to looking at anymore, this is a rocket-looking thing. So it's a little bit more interesting, I think.
So you guys go. Here's the first 5 minutes of that launch.
各号注意，我是0号，1分钟准备。各号注意，1分钟准备。50秒。40秒。30秒。20秒。 9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1，点火！起飞！起飞！70，20时，10分，04秒，988毫秒。双层雷达跟踪正常。东风飞行正常。120秒。脚前逃逸塔分离。东风逃逸塔分离。逃逸塔分离。天山 USB 跟踪正常，遥测信号正常。东风 USB 遥测信号跟踪正常。脚前助推器分离。东风助推分离。助推器分离。脚前1、2级分离，东风1、2级分离，1、2级分离。雨梁，连续波雷达，发现目标。东风飞行正常。未能发现目标。200秒。脚前抛整流罩，东风抛整流罩，整流罩分离。
So that's just a little bit of the launch, you know, just kind of getting it up there. And
it goes on.
It goes on quite a long time, and you can see some great shots of the astronauts sitting in there and some of the paperwork that they're going through. And it's just, like we said, it's incredible. This is kind of changing the world now that we've got another giant superpower going into space.
Giant superpower.
So that's good. Normally I would have said, you know, this is going to really light a fire under America's butt, and we're going to start throwing more money at NASA. We're not going to let this happen. But I'm not sure if you noticed, our economy kind of tanked a little bit there. So I'm not totally sure what's going to happen, because I think we're a little bit more worried about that excuse me, than anything else. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't know if this is going to really change anything. And
It'll be interesting. I mean, we do have an election coming up, so With any luck, something
Totally up in the air. I don't
happen
even.
with
I can't even begin to fathom where this is all going to go
Yeah.
and what this all means. It's good that someone at least is doing it.
Yes.
And they're pushing to go back to the moon. I don't know if they're Mars plans, they're Martian plans,
I think they do.
I think they do too, but I don't know if they actually have a date set for that.
Right.
I know that they really are pushing for the moon quite hard right now. So there you go.
No, awesome though. Awesome. In a slightly related note, to a certain extent, there is a Japanese Internet Tycoon.
This guy here?
Yes. It's Daisuke Inomoto, I think.
Ooh.
Lord knows how good my Japanese is. But he paid $21 million to a Virginia-based company called Space Adventures. It's a private firm that has connections with the Russian Federal Space Agency, and he's currently suing them for this money back because he gave them all this money thinking, oh great, I get to go into space.
Right.
And he didn't. Instead of Mrs. Ansari took his spot. And I would pronounce her first name, but I can't.
Okay, but I thought that was the deal with Space Adventures. You can't refund your ticket, but you can trade in anyone you want.
Right. Well, he didn't trade in anyone.
Oh.
They traded in someone.
They can't do that, can they?
That's what he's trying to say. And the other reason is that he got denied was because he had kidney stones. And I guess he had some kidney stones when they first kind of okayed him, and he went through the whole process, training and all of this rigorous stuff. And then they tested him again, because you have to be tested a number of times. And they said, oh yeah, those kidney stones, they look bigger or more or something. And you know what? You can't go. And he was like, blow it out your ear. So we'll see what's going on with that. It's kind of interesting. The company, though, really does have a good footing to stand on, because they're like, well, medically, he wasn't cleared. And he's saying, that's funny, because I was totally cleared before. Now I'm not cleared now.
Well, yeah, but health.
What's going on?
Okay, so
with
2
that?
points. One, health changes. So just because you were cleared when you first bought the ticket doesn't mean that
Right.
you're still clear to go months later, or even however.
Right.
2, why couldn't they just delay and wait? I mean, why couldn't he just go up later?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. And apparently, he could perform an EVA for an extra $10 million. So he feels as though he's been pumped for money and pumped for money and pumped for money, never got to go, and is like, I would like my money back. And they're like, I don't think so. So I thought that was kind of fascinating, if you will. I know how you love to say I use that word quite a bit. But and this is all from 2006 actually, and he's still fighting it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
One of the other issues though is that Ansari has put money into Space Adventures, so he thinks he got bumped off so that Ansari could go up instead of him, and then Ansari went on to win the 2007 X Prize. Wait, no, it was the 2007 Ansari X Prize.
It was the Ansari X Prize.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Well, that's interesting. So yeah, we'll follow that a little bit and see where it goes, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, and he's really young. He's got a lot of money, but he kind of feels like he's been.
Yeah. Well, in the other for those who don't know,
ride.
Space Adventures also has a $100 million ticket that will sling you around the moon. You don't get to land on the moon, but you can go around the moon.
You can freeze.
But now I'm a little
Ew.
scared to.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if they can do that, then why would I give them $100 million?
I know.
If they can be like, oh no, Joe's gonna go instead.
Yeah, well, and they have a physician from the Russian Space Agency, from NASA, actually, and they've got another independent physician. And so somewhere through all of them, they were like, and you can't go. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something to think about. We, of course, will post the links to those articles, at the end, so you can,
Yep. So you can read about
so you
it.
can read the whole entire thing.
Next news item.
Next news item is that the Smithsonian hosted a NASA's 50th anniversary gala, and 3 of the main speakers were Neil Armstrong.
Awesome.
Yeah. John Glenn.
Awesome.
And Michael Griffin, who is the current...
Dr. Michael Griffin.
I'm sorry,
Yep.
Dr. Michael Griffin, who is
Awesome.
the current director. Is that correct?
Administrator.
Administrator, okay.
Yep.
All of those things. And it was interesting because, again, we'll have clips of that as well. And it does replay on NASA TV, so if you guys just want to check in every once in a while, I'm sure it'll be replayed a number of different times. Each man in his own little segment, which was about 10 minutes apiece, said really great things about NASA. We've done really great things. It's remarkable.
What would you expect them to be like? NASA sucks.
And they actually said some bad things about NASA. Each one in his own, nice little way. John, I think, was probably the nicest. He was sort of the softest about and I can't wait to see what the future holds kind of thing.
Right, yep.
As opposed to slightly more outspoken Armstrong. Said some things about and it's really too bad that we haven't done this stuff yet, and in the future we really need to work on this, this, and this, which is great. And he has, again, we mentioned before, has offered up his space specialty, his space, what am I trying to say?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
He's lending his intelligence to the president, to whoever the next president is.
Right, yeah.
Expertise, that's the word I wanted. Okay. And then there was Michael Griffin. And Michael Griffin is the current administrator, Dr. Michael Griffin, and he has been quite outspoken, I would think, for being the administrator for NASA. And he was saying things like, it's great, we're here, we're celebrating 50 years of NASA, when we could be celebrating 20 years of NASA being on Mars. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So he's like, maybe that'll happen soon. It was really interesting, and I really think, if anything, you should watch his clip for sure.
Should we just post the whole thing? How long is the event?
It's about an hour. It's really not bad. But
now that we have a YouTube partner channel, we can post the entire hour-long event.
We can. I actually would like to kind of take some segments out, but we'll talk about that later. It was interesting. Michael Griffin really was like, we've done stuff, and that's really great, but, it's really kind of too bad that we're not talking about how cool we are on Mars right now, and where our stuff on the moon is right now, and that kind of thing. And he's like, you know what? In another 50 years, will be coming, and the Smithsonian will be here. Maybe then we'll be talking about our next, 30 some odd years on Mars.
He's actually quite outspoken about also shutting down the space shuttle, where he doesn't like shutting down the space shuttle. He's like, that scenario sucks. But what sucks more is having to keep the space shuttle around and then go into Constellation and not be able to go onto the moon, or go to moon and onto Mars, because we weren't able to get anything done because we had to keep these stupid space shuttles going because we don't have the funding to do both.
Right. That was one of the things that John Glenn said in his sort of nice, sort of soft way. He was like, Bush's idea to get the manned people on Mars, or manned, space flights on Mars and the moon was great, but the funding kind of fell through. And he just kind of quietly let that sit. So that was, I don't know, I thought that was cool. And I like that these huge people, these huge personas in terms of space in general, are being outspoken and are feeling comfortable enough to say this kind of thing, because it needs to be said. And it can't just be like you and I saying, we need to go back into space, because we look like we don't know what we're talking about. But here they are. These guys.
I think it needs to be both. I think it needs to be the average American
it does, but
saying,
it can't just be us.
Of course.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
It needs to be those guys as well.
Right, absolutely.
And I think it's great. And I think that they said it at a very good time as well. Oh, yeah. I mean, here they are at the NASA. They're not kind of saying it, quietly on their blog. They're saying it at big, huge events, covered by the media, big, big, big. And I think that's great.
Yeah, but does anyone care? With the economy tanking, extreme uncertainty, do people really care about Mars right now?
I don't know, but I like the idea that Neil has said, any questions you have, I will help you out with that.
All right.
You want help with that? I am right here for you.
All right, if anyone knows Neil Armstrong, I like to bring him on the show and ask him that exact question. Does he feel we should still continue moving towards Mars with the economy tanking like that? So, there you go.
All right.
Now, the next story, we're very news heavy in this particular one, mostly because we're launch heavy, and that is Boeing had a sea launch. We had the Galaxy 19 satellite launched into space. So in addition to China doing their thing, a couple nights ago, September, I believe it was 24th at 94 or so a.m. Coordinated Universal Time, we did a sea launch. Now the neat thing about sea launches is that they move the shuttle. They move the rocket right to the equator, and they launch from sea. And they've got a big
on a ship.
Well, they got a C platform.
Well,
They've got a ship, too, that is master control. They don't launch from that ship.
No, I understand.
Okay.
I'm just saying that, you know, it's out in the middle of the... We're not talking like a cute little island like SpaceX has got going on, which, by the way, SpaceX supposedly is supposed to be launching within the next week or so, so we'll be covering that a little bit later on. But they launch right from the water, so it's a completely different way of looking at it. It's like, it feels and it looks different, much like I was saying that China looks different because of the rocket thing, and we're so used to looking at these shuttles.
Yep, so they launched at night, or actually very early in the morning.
Yes.
And because of that, you lose it very early. You get about 5-10 seconds of shot of the rocket, and then it's just kind of like, okay. But so I could show you 5-10 seconds of video, but I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to show you up until first stage separation. So here you go. Here is the sea launch that just occurred.
10,
10,
9,
9,
8,
8,
7,
7,
6,
6,
5,
5,
4,
4,
main
engine
start,
2,
1,
go
inertial, lift off. Main engine is at nominal thrust. Begin pitch over. ILD stabilization is nominal.
STS-125.
Go ahead.
Propulsion system performance is nominal.
Confirmed.
Roger.
Принял.
Flight is nominal. ILD stabilization is nominal. ILD is now transonic. Main engine pressure is nominal. Flight is nominal. Maximum dynamic pressure. ILD stabilization is nominal.
МДРСОМ.
Go ahead.
Слушаю.
Точное время КП по Гринвичу 9 часов 27 минут 59,108 тысячных секунды.
Contact liftoff occurred at 09:27:59
Contact liftoff time was
59.108 UTC.
9 hours, 27 minutes, 59,108. Propulsion system performance is nominal. Flight is nominal. ILD motion is stable. Begin engine throttling from minimum acceleration. Flight is nominal. ILD stabilization is nominal. Final sequence of throttling. Flight is nominal. Second stage vernier engine ignition. First stage engine shutdown. First stage separation. Second stage main engine ignition command is issued.
And there you have it, stage 1 separation, which was successful, and we actually have the entire 90 minutes or so on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/spacevidcast, and you can watch the whole event from when they first started the video cast all the way up through launch, all the way through all stage separations, all the way through spacecraft separation, and then all the way to signal acquisition.
Yes.
So there was a great quote in the post meeting, which is also on there, which is in space flight and space travel, you want to have a very boring launch. That's what you strive for. And boy, was this one boring. There was nothing really that was like, oh my gosh.
Say stuff about NASA in general. It's like
boring
yet fascinating.
It is. It is the most fascinating, boring stuff you'll ever see. You just can't stop watching, and yet it's terribly boring because nothing exciting is going on. It's just launching, and they're showing shots of the control room. But it's still fascinating to think that about 90 minutes prior, this vehicle had been on the ground, and now they're communicating with Earth in this satellite that's in orbit. Yeah.
crazy.
Absolutely insane. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about STS-125, one step forward, wait, 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yes.
Absolutely. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Check this out. This is a shot of both space shuttles on the launch pad.
Awesome.
This is the last time you will ever see both space shuttles on the launch pad, and it is also the first time this has happened since 2001. So amazing shots. Check this out. Just great looking footage right here in the background. As they're saying in the chat room, can't see it on screen right now. It is very, very cool. So soak this up. You're just never going to see this again. And actually, what we're going to do is we're going to post this entire video on the Space Vidcast website, so you can watch it in high quality in its entirety, not this little 240 video that you got going on here. But it's just really, really neat. I think it's just cool, that thing.
Like somebody mentioned, I believe NASA's a pick of the day, and on NASA's pick of the day, they calling it mirror images, and you can see both shuttles, and I do believe you can see the rainbow in the background. It's a very, very cool image, and it's one of those things where it would be cool without the rainbow, and it's even cooler with.
Yep. Yeah, it's just neat that there's a rainbow back there. Yeah, it's just neat. So we'll get that posted on Space Vidcast a little bit later on this week. And you know, since we're talking about the 2 space shuttles, STS-125, which is Space Shuttle Atlantis, and STS-126, which is Space Shuttle Endeavour, they're both sitting on the pads, Atlantis on 39A, Endeavour on 39B, and Atlantis was supposed to launch October 10th.
Right. Well, October 8th originally, and then it moved back.
Well, no, it was even before that.
This is true.
Yeah, so
yes, it's been moved back again. We have had a couple of hurricanes. I mean, you can't really... What are you going to do, right? JSC was shut down for a while. 11 days. I mean, that's a really big deal. And some of the astronauts didn't feel as though they had enough training. So it's not like there's anything catastrophically wrong, but we have had a couple of minor setbacks, which unfortunately, you know, pushed back Atlantis, and then, consequently, pushed back Endeavour as well.
Yep. Which means October 10th, no earlier than October 10th for launch of Space Shuttle Atlantis, which is going to be a little bit harsh because we're losing our launch window. I believe no earlier than October 14th.
Oh, I thought it was the 10th.
Well, I just have 2 NASA space flighters say October 14th.
Right.
So I'm going to have to say... So this is why we do the live chat room.
Yeah, 14th. It went from the 10th to the 14th.
I'm sorry, you're right. You're absolutely right. No earlier than October 14th. No earlier than October 14th. And that's very near. I thought that was very, very, very near the end of their available launch window for Atlantis. And as they push back Atlantis, that drastically affects Endeavour, which is also eating into its launch window, because even though Space Shuttle Endeavour is on pad 39B, they're not going to launch it from pad 39B.
Right.
What they're going to do is they're going to launch Space Shuttle Atlantis. They use Space Shuttle Endeavour as a safety net just in case something happens to Atlantis, so they can launch Endeavour as a launch on need and rescue the crew of Atlantis if needed. Highly doubtful. And once that mission is done, they're going to take Space Shuttle Endeavour and move it to pad 39A.
Yeah.
Which... The reason they're doing that, though, is they're knocking pad 39B down, and they're going to use it to build up for the Constellation program so that they can get the Ares rocket going in Orion.
Right.
So they really need to get it out of there so they can start their next generation spacecraft.
Right.
And by next generation, I mean last generation. It depends on how you look at it. They're like, we've got this shuttle technology, and I keep thinking to myself, well, okay, so you've got an Apollo-style rocket, an Apollo-style crew capsule,
yes,
with shuttle solid rocket boosters, but the shuttle
Yes.
is 30 years old too. So
Yes.
basically, you're using 30-year-old technology here.
Yes.
Where's the cool horizontal liftoff system? Where's the cutting-edge rocketry? Where's the inspiring next-generation vehicle?
China. No.
No, they
Privatized
got-
space.
Privatized space, I guess. I don't know. I'm disappointed in Constellation. Maybe it'll be cool when it comes out, but it's too safe for me. They're rehashing what they already know.
Right.
They got a solid rocket booster sitting atop an Apollo crew capsule.
Sad.
Yep, there you go. Ben Age technology. Ooh, thanks for that, Kat. So anyhow, that's our show for this week. Join us next week right here at, what time do we do it? Fridays at 2 o'clock a.m. Coordinated Universal Time for our next EPICsode. We'll, of course, be talking more about Space Shuttle, Atlantis, and Endeavour, and STS-125, 126, just because we're so close to launching that. And remember that when those do launch, we do have 24/7 live coverage right here on spacevidcast.com, and you can watch all of that, and then we take the best clips and turn them into nice, great, high-resolution clips that you can watch on demand at any time. There are other sites that charge you for that.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yes,
They
I
charge you
did.
for all the press conferences and all that fun. We make it available. Not only do they charge you, they make it a lower quality. We do the full quality right on the website in Flash. And if you want higher quality, you can subscribe to our iTunes channel. You can actually get the high definition version of all this stuff, including, we're trying for, if PSB can help me out on this one, high definition coverage of the launch itself.
No.
Downloaded right on your computer, 720p quality. Awesome.
Seriously.
Absolutely
Somebody said
awesome.
ask for money. We really should. We should.
Well, we do ask for money.
Well,
we
just
beg,
to
we beg and
sponsor
plead.
us.
We beg and plead for money.
Yes.
So that's our episode for tonight. Stay with us, everyone, in the chat room for a post show. If you're not joining us live, for shame. For shame. You should join us live. It's way more fun live.
It is. It's way more fun live.
I will shame you every show.
Yeah, I know. It's sad.
We'll see you next week.
It's just a stupid movie. Stories told, they all change anyway. So long, it's such a sad goodbye. Gotta go, you see it written on my face.
Sean the non-believer. Yeah.